Okay, hi everyone, Assalamualaikum and good morning. So in this video, we will discuss about an analysis toward historical development of fiqh and its implication in the halal industry. Before that, the presenter for this video is Aisyah binti Muhammad Masjid, Amal Adriana binti Ahmad, Ili Nadrah binti Saleh, Fatin Nadhirah binti Anwar, and Siti Nur Aina binti Muhammad Noor. Okay, let's start. So in this video, we will discuss about introduction, objective, historical development of fiqh, implication history toward halal industry, and conclusion. So first, I will explain about introduction for this topic. Fiqh history has evolved constantly throughout the history. This change has affected us directly in many aspects, especially regarding ibadah, muamalat and halal aspect. Hence, Muslims need to take note on the change of hukm and fatwa concerning contemporary issue like halal industry. Next is objective. The objective for this topic is to understand more about the development of fiqh history and the implication of it toward halal industry. Second is to analyze the difference of many fatwa and opinion regarding the same topic. Third, to apply the knowledge regarding fiqh concept in our daily life to solve any issue that will be arise later. So before this, in class, we have learned about the historical development of fiqh, which have discussed about development of fiqh during period of foundation, establishment, building, flowering, consolidation, and stagnation and reinvention. So what is the implication of this history in the halal industry?
Okay, the first issue that I will talk about is the variable of fatwa and views. Okay, as we all know, any issue that arise have different fatwa and views from different scholars. And the views may change over the time to suit the current changes. And the changes of view will also affect the halal industry. Why halal industry? Because that's our main point of today. To see what's the implication on halal industry when historical development of fiqh happens. And there are many examples of variable fatwa and views, and I'm going to explain on consumption of Jalawla animals. So what is Jalawla animals? Jalawla animal refers to any kind of animal that eat impurities on daily basis. Originally, the animal are pure, clean and halal, but they became Jalawla because they eat unclean food. The most common example is catfish or ikan keli. They are being fed with benda-benda kotor like internal organs, feces and other impurities. And the hukum on the consumption of Jalawla catfish is vary based on different fuqaha. Next is the different views on the consumption of Jalawla animal. The first view is from Imam Shafi'i, aligned with Hadith Rasulullah that forbids from riding Jalawla camel and drinks its milk. So the hukum is makruh. Next is Fatwa Muzakarah of Jakim on 2006. The committee decided that fish reared in ponds or ikan yang dibela dalam kolam dan dengan sengaja dibiarkan dalam air yang kotor, diberi makanan-makanan yang kotor like carcass unlawful to be consumed, aka haram. The third view is from Imam Hanafi and Fuqaha from Shafi'i. They suggested that to consume the Jalawla animal, we need to quarantine them first, and the quarantine period is different based on type of animal, like 40 days for camel, 30 days for cow, and 7 days for chicken.
Today I am going to present the next point, which is to deal with contemporary issues. So as we all know, halal industry is a contemporary issue that emerged recently. So some fatwa that exist today might not suitable anymore, and they are actually need a bit of changes in order to fit in with current fiqh issue that happen today. Hence, we need to understand the changes of fiqh in order for us to understand fully on how to deal with contemporary issues that happen today. One of the contemporary issues that happen on this day is istihala. Istihala can be defined as transformation or conversion of material which involve changes in its composition and properties. Conversion here dalam bahasa Melayu means penukaran. Okay. So istihala can be divided into three types, which is istihala sahihah, istihala fasidah, and istihala mulghah. And on the next slide, I actually put definition on each type of istihala so that you will have more clear understanding about istihala. So, the first one is istihala sahihah, or known as accepted istihala. It means a changing process from halal material mixed with halal or haram conversion agent which result in halal finished product. Okay, for example, dog fell into the sea, which eventually changed into salt. So the salt from the sea is actually halal to be consumed, as the changes of the dog composition in the sea happen naturally. Okay, so we can consume the salt. And the next one is istihala fasidah, or known as damage istihala. Istihalah yang rosak maksudnya. Okay. So it means a mixing process of halal or haram material with halal or haram conversion agent which result in haram finished product. Okay. For example, cake that being baked using apple wine as one of its ingredient for better flavors and taste. And actually, usually bakers use wine to improve the structure and texture of the cake. So in this case, the cake will become haram as the wine and alcohol itself is haram in Sharia perspective. So the finished product of istihala fasidah, which is cake, the cake is haram to be consumed as it contain wine. Okay. So last but not least is we have istihala mulghah. Istihala mulghah means unaccepted istihala. So the definition of istihala mulghah is a changing process from haram raw material mixed with haram conversion agent which result in haram finished product. Okay, for example, pigs fed with najis, and the status of the pig will remain haram. Even if you have quarantined the pig and you feed it with lawful food, it is still remain haram because the pig itself is haram to be eaten by us Muslim.
And I will continue with stage of prohibition gradually. The example for this is the prohibition of alcohol. In Islam, Allah SWT prohibited something gradually along with the fiqh development. It is prohibited gradually so that Muslims can wean it off and they will have time to adapt with it. It is also prohibited gradually because sometimes people are already accustomed with it and does not know the harm behind it. For example, alcohol. Alcohol is widely used during the day of Prophet Muhammad SAW. So, in order to make sure that Muslims can follow the rules by Allah, alcohol is prohibited in stages and gradually so that they will not feel shocked by it. The sources of alcoholic beverages were grapes, date, wheat, and barley. During the day of Prophet Muhammad, usage of khamar is used widely among the Arabian community. It was drank like a tea where it is common to drink it. It was from Allah SWT wisdom to deal with such an issue gradually so that they would have not abandoned the whole religion. There are 4 stages for prohibition of alcohol. For the first stage, alcohol is still considered permitted and still can be drank by Muslims. This is based on the meaning of Quranic verse from Surah An-Nahl verse 67. For the second stage, there are several sahabat that are already stopped consuming alcohol based on verse, in them is a great sin, while other sahabat still consume it based on verse, some benefit for people. This is based on situation that happened by sahabat itself. It happened when Sayyidina Abdul Rahman bin Auf had prepared a meal and invited sahabat to eat it together. Some of them consumed alcohol. During Maghrib prayer, sahabat who drank the alcohol became drunk during praying that affect their Maghrib prayer. For the third stage of prohibition of alcohol, it is already stated in Al-Quran from Surah An-Nisa verse 43 that Allah SWT prohibited all Muslims to consume alcohol during performing prayer. This is because it might lead to faulty in reciting Al-Quran verse during prayer. So, sahabat consume alcohol only after Isha prayer, and when subuh is approaching, the effect from alcohol is already lost. for the last stage of prohibition of alcohol, there are two verses that are related to this matter, which is from Surah Al-Ma'idah verses 19 and 91. Based on the understanding from both of the verse, it is stated that alcohol is totally prohibited to be consumed by Muslims because of its intoxicant and effect.
I will present the establishment of Hisbah institution. Hisbah institution has give and implications in halal industry. Now, I will explain briefly the history of Hisbah institution. The development of Hisbah started during the Prophet Muhammad SAW lifetime. But in that time, Hisbah was not very known among Muslims. Prophet Muhammad was the first person to hold the position of Hisbah. Prophet Muhammad also has appointed some of the companions to help him. They will frequently inspect the marketplaces to make sure that people do their business fairly, no cheating and no fraudulence. Next, Hisbah under the Abbasids. During Abbasids time, the position of Muhtasib began to take shape differently and it became known among people. The position of Muhtasib evolved, means change from controlling the market to supervise the cleanliness of markets and malls and controlling civil servants to comply with the rules. The function of Hisbah. As we know, Hisbah is the institution that is maintain the public law and order and supervising the behavior of buyers and sellers in the market to ensure there is no cheating and others. Next, Hisbah serves as a religious institution which is responsible to appoint people to enjoy good and forbid evil, which is Amar Ma'ruf Nahi Munkar. And lastly, Hisbah also safeguard the society from deviance, protect their faith, and ensure welfare of the people. Some of the institutions that are related to Hisbah. First, Jakim. Second, State Islamic Religious Council as known as MAINS. Third, Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs. Each of these institutions has the same rules as Hisbah, which are do the inspection and make sure all the sellers and buyers follow the rules.
And for the last implication is taqlid. So what is taqlid? So taqlid is from the word qalada, to adorn with a necklace, to entrust authority to someone, to follow, and etc. Qabulu qawli ghair min ghairi hujjah. Taqlid means accepting the view of someone who is qualified, which is faqih or mujtahid, without a proof. What is faqih? Faqih is one who are competent to do ijtihad, also called mujtahid. While muqallid are the ordinary people. Muqallid is obligatory to taqlid to opinion of a mujtahid. So what is ijtihad? In Islam theory, it means exertion. Justly speaking, it refers to a competent jurist expending every possible effort to examine the textual evidence so as to arrive at a ruling of the sacred law. It also refers to when a mas'alah cannot be clearly found in a Quran and a hadith. The analogy and evidence have to be considered to find out its degree. What is the ruling of taqlid? Taqlid is in fact wajib for every Muslim who is non-mujtahid. Whoever does not have the capability of ijtihad, following a mujtahid become compulsory for him. Taqlid has been consensus of Islamic scholars since the Prophet's time to follow those who are learned, and the Quranic basis are manifest. During the Prophet's time, mazhab sahabi, which is juristic opinion of the companions, and the Prophet ﷺ knew and even sanctioned this practice. So, mazhab already advocated by the Prophet ﷺ himself during his lifetime that taqlid is permitted. Significance of taqlid. First, people will have a guide in order to find a ruling of an issue or hukm. For the example, when muqallid want to know what is the status hukm of the food that has not been stated in the Quran or Hadith, they will refer to mujtahid who made ijtihad. Second, following one of the four mazhab will be a means of controlling one's egos and desire. The deen will become much more systematic and easier to follow. Third, to restrict people to follow any mazhab one wishes. The reason is to prevent people to relinquishing the burden of responsibility. So last but not least is recommendation. First, JAKIM along with Department of Veterinary Service need to implement a more strict rules on the fish rear in the pond industry. So in order to provide good quality reared fish, the owner need to set a good SOP from the beginning to the end of the rearing chain. Next, a person or the authority that related to halal need to spread the legal ruling of halal contemporary issue. Third, JAKIM and other authorities should strengthen the awareness of any inquiry regarding to halal matter. Last, all authorities that are related to halal need to play the crucial roles in order to help facilitate the development of halal industry. So, this concludes the focus of the discussion today. To end, I would like to highlight Muslim leaders need to have the knowledge of fiqh to determine the hukm of the problem occurred in this era. Then, the need for society to refer the correct legal authorities since there are so many opinions that contradict to one another. And that brings us to the end. We would like to thank you for your time and attention today. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay positive, and stay at home. I begin to